Smythe. Zetterberg to the goal. There it is to him, right in on goal. Backhand, and he scores!
Control, Kronwall to Zetterberg. Scores! Game over! Game 7!
What if I told you the most dazzling plays of the 2000s weren't crafted by a first-round phenom, but by a skinny Swede drafted 210th? A spot so late most GMs were already packing up. Henrik Zetterberg went from beach vacation afterthought to Conn Smythe king, embarrassing the very superstars picked to outshine him. Curious how a throwaway pick rewrote scouting, captained a dynasty, and proved hustle beats hype. Keep watching, because the secret inside Zetterberg's rise will flip everything you think you know about the draft.
Zetterberg steaming back up the wing, and Richards back on defense. Zetterberg crosses, moves in, he scores!
Picture this, June 26, 1999. With the Fleet Center half empty and Detroit's early picks long since traded, European scout Håkan Andersson nudges AGM Jim Nill about a lean Swede who treats the puck like Velcro. Moments later, the Wings casually burn their 210th overall loose change pick on Henrik Zetterberg, while the kid himself basks on a Cyprus beach convinced no one wants him. His Nokia rings. "You're a Red Wing, kid. Camp starts next week." That throwaway scribble would soon humiliate 29 front offices, rewrite the NHL's entire Euro scouting philosophy, and ignite the Red Wings dynasty that dominated the 2000s. Proof that one inattentive heartbeat at the draft table can echo for decades. But that last-minute flyer was only the spark. The real fuel had been stockpiling in a fishing village no North American scout could pronounce.
Romero went down.
Malky took a shot at him.
Here's Zetterberg and scores! Henrik Zetterberg!
Nurunda sits on Sweden's Gulf of Bothnia like a postcard stapled to pine woods. One supermarket, one ice rink, endless winter darkness. Henrik spends it shadowing older teens in pickup games, forced to dodge grown man elbows because quitting early isn't an option when your house backs onto the rink. His father Göran pounds 2 lessons into him. Keep your head up before entering any corner, and know where every teammate will be before the puck reaches your blade. Spatial anticipation becomes second nature. At 17, mandatory military service drops him into the Army's athlete platoon. 6 a.m. marches, rifle drills, bunk inspections. It's the first time Zetterberg has to obey strangers, and the discipline fuses with that small-town chip on his shoulder. Back home, the local arena eventually takes his surname, evidence that even hockey-mad Sweden hadn't seen dedication quite like this. Still, scouts aren't dazzled by cross-ice vision or calm puck shields. They want gaudy goal totals, highlight reel toe drags. Henrik keeps filing them under things I'll prove later, and later arrives faster than anyone expects once he crosses the Atlantic.
For Zetterberg, to Datsuk, Holmstrom parked in front. Zetterberg, Datsuk, in front, score! Zetterberg!
October 10th, 2002, Joe Louis Arena. Detroit's banner-heavy rafters watch an unassuming number 40 glide through warm-ups. He's 22, older than most rookies because the Wings insisted he marinate in Sweden. 2 world championships, 1 Olympics, another 100 games of men's league trench warfare. By night's end, he's logged his first NHL point, subtle yet undeniable. That season ends with 22 goals, 44 points, and Rookie of the Year whispers. Not bad for a back-of-the-line draftee. Wayne Gretzky, coaching Phoenix at the time, flat out calls him the league's most underrated player after goal number 100 sails past the Coyotes' netminder. Henrik's calling card is puck possession. He skates low, legs wide, stick 3 feet out like a compass needle. Defenders latch on and simply slide off. By 2007, he's detonating franchise records. 16 straight games with a point, including hat tricks, seeing eye passes, and last-second daggers. Analysts scramble for comparables. Is he Datsuk with a winger's frame? A Scandinavian hull? But comps collapse when the 2008 playoffs begin, because one 87-second shift against 5 determined Penguins will escort him from underrated to immortal.
To the head, Samuelsson with Zetterberg, a 2-on-2. He loses his footing. Zetterberg with the puck, hit on goal, he scores!
Stanley Cup Final, Game 4, Mellon Arena. Detroit clings to a 1-0 lead when 2 quick penalties hang Henrik, Nicklas Lidstrom, and Brian Rafalski out to dry against Sidney Crosby's power play machine. 5 Pittsburgh jerseys, 3 Red Wings. Most penalty kills dump and change. Zetterberg rewrites the script. He tie-ups Crosby at the crease, yanks the puck free, then keeps it. He weaves up ice solo, pirouetting into open ice, draining the clock while Lidstrom gulps air. fans boo. Detroit's bench howls. By the time he relents, 15 critical seconds have evaporated and Pittsburgh's stars are gassed. Draper hugs him so hard on the bench it looks like a mosh pit. Colorman Doc Emmerich dubs it a Conn Smythe shift if I've ever seen one. The Wings win the cup. Henrik's 27 playoff points tie Crosby for tops in the tournament. Days later, he inks a 12-year, $73 million pact, Detroit's richest ever. An afterthought no more. Zetterberg now carries the franchise checkbook and its standard, but great power rarely strolls alone. Beside him skates a balletic Russian whose brain seems synced to the same frequency. Pair Zetterberg with Pavel Datsyuk and the Ice Tilts. Fans dub them the Euro Twins, two hemispheres of a singular hive mind. One backhand saucer, one gap-reading steal, and an entire zone collapses. When Nicholas Lidstrom retires in 2013, coach Mike Babcock doesn't pull the locker room. The C is Henrik's. His rule is simple: never order a teammate to do what you won't. Young Dylan Larkin later recalls nearly dropping his stick from nerves at his first camp until the captain strolls over. "I'm Henrik. Need anything? Off ice?" The Swede isn't always soft-spoken. In 2017, he torches league referees for invisible rule books after a disallowed goal, challenging the NHL's consistency. By 2024, he's back in Detroit's orbit as a part-time consultant, advising GM Steve Yzerman's youth-heavy rebuild. Older, but still the conscience of Hockey Town. Conscience, however, can't conquer biology, and Henrik's spine has been plotting its own mutiny since his mid-20s. Back spasms appear in 2006, chalked up to the grind. Twice daily physio keeps them quiet, until the 2014 Sochi Olympics. Wearing Sweden's C, Zetterberg scores in Game 1, but searing nerve pain drops him midway through the second period. He's stretchered out of Russia, undergoes emergency surgery to shave a herniated disc, and confronts a grim prognosis. Degenerative damage rarely reverses. He re-engineers his game, shorter shifts, less explosive first steps, more cerebral puck shielding. Teammate Thomas Vanek marvels. He's operating on hockey IQ alone, and still 2 plays ahead. Astonishingly, Henrik dresses for every one of Detroit's 82 contests 3 seasons running, even after abandoning practice to hoard energy for game nights. The price? Numb toes, permanent ankle taps, sleepless flights. September 14th, 2018, doctors finally pull the plug. Further contact risks permanent nerve damage. Zetterberg retires at 37, 40 points shy of a millennium, but with enough respect to fill 2 arenas. Retirement seldom silences legends, especially those whose very existence rewrote scouting doctrine. Triple Gold Club, Conn Smythe, Stanley Cup, Olympic Gold, 960 NHL points, 5th on Detroit's all-time list, numbers echo, but influence resonates deeper. Coaches now scour late rounds for high-processing puck possession diehards, citing Zetterberg as the prototype. In 2025, he headlines Hall of Fame chatter alongside Zdeno Chara and Joe Thornton. Pundits bicker over point totals versus complete game value. Henrik shrugs from the stands, offering quiet advice to Red Wings rookies and occasionally wading into hot-button debates, like whether Russian NHLers should face blanket suspensions for geopolitics, a notion he publicly called punishing the innocent. Whether first ballot or second, immortality feels inevitable. The more interesting question is how many future superstars his blueprint will unlock, and that loops us back to you, because the secret hiding in his story isn't just about hockey. Henrik Zetterberg blew up every scouting shortcut. Draft slot, meaningless, size, overrated, flashy stats, nice but optional, laser vision, obsessive detail, and a motor that outran pain turned pick number. 210 into the template for two-way greatness and the pulse of a dynasty. Still skeptical? Rewatch that 87-second solo kill that left 5 Penguins gasping, then remember every overlooked kid now mutters, "Why not me?" Stay tuned, because right after this, we've stitched together Zetterberg's slickest dangles, jaw-dropping shot blocks, and of course that legendary cup-winning goal.
With a shot! Oh, and it's saved by Fleury! And now they say it's in! Got it up and just fired it at the net. Perfect position by referee Mark Jonette. By Zetterberg, a loose puck. It is free. It's a free puck. The Penguins think Fleury has it. Back from Pepela here. Zetterberg on a breakaway. Moving in on Turco. Score!
Here comes Mantha. Zetterberg to the goal. There it is to him. Right in on goal. Backhand. And he scores.
Control. Kronwall to Zetterberg. Scores! Game over! Game 7!
Zetterberg Zetterberg steaming back up the wing, and Richards back on defense. Zetterberg crosses, moves in, he scores!
Romero went down, caught him off, he took a shot at him.
Here's Zetterberg and scores! Henrik Zetterberg!
For Zetterberg, to Datsuk. Holmstrom parked in front. Zetterberg, Datsuk, in front, scores! Zetterberg!
He's ahead. Samuelson with Zetterberg, a 2-on-2. He loses his footing. Zetterberg with the puck, in on goal! He scores!